I think it's going to be very hard to make this without spoiling the book, but let's try. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So the main character is a 16-year-old kid named Nick Waters who goes to a school called the Truman School. It is a private school in Florida. Nick has a best friend named Marta, and they do pretty much everything together. They're in class together, they pass notes to each other, and there's one particular class, their biology class, there's a teacher named Mrs. Starch, and everyone hates Mrs. Starch because she's mean, she's a witch, she's a little ugly little old teacher that nobody likes. In that same biology class, there is another student named Dwayne Scott Jr., aka Smoke, which is what everyone calls him. He doesn't have much friends. One day in class, he's acting a fool and he eats a pencil and stuff. And then Miss Starch, as a punishment for eating the pencil, asks him to write an essay about pimples, and it embarrasses him in front of the whole class. Nick goes home and he checks his computer to see if he has an email from his dad, who is a soldier in Iraq fighting a war. Nick receives no response and he's worried about his dad, but he goes to sleep and his mom's like, Mom thinks I'm stupid. The next day, the biology class goes on a field trip to the Everglades, or a specific part of the Everglades, and they just walk around for a little bit, and then the entire place just gets on fire. Everything's on fire. All the kids are screaming like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. And then one of the kids is asthmatic, and they left their inhaler because they're stupid, and it's in the fire, and one of the teachers is like, I'll go, and if I never return, tell my mother I love her. Then she goes into the fire, and she never returns. Nobody ever sees her. They're like, oh my god, where'd Miss Starch go? Nick had been recording that day, and he picked up a really brief video of what possibly could be a panther, a very endangered species in Florida. So he invited Marta over to his house, and then they showed the footage to her. It was really blurry, and Marta thought he was a nut. But Marta's also pretty nutty, so I don't know where she's coming from. Marta's L, loser. Everyone starts to speculate who might have set this mysterious fire, and everyone immediately points to Dwayne Scott Jr., aka Smoke, because of his history of pyro activity, and as well as his very incriminating nickname, which, I mean, come on, that is a pretty incriminating nickname, like Smoke. So after about a couple of days of Miss Starch being absent, because she's never been absent in her 18 years of teaching, she's always appeared, so it was very weird for her not to appear. So everyone assumes something bad happened to her, and everyone for some reason just starts breaking into her house and invading her privacy. Like, I don't know why, but everyone just decides it's a great time to break into people's houses. And when Nick and Marta go to break into her house, they meet a big hunky man, like, God is hunky. That's a man. That is a man. This hunky man reveals his name to be Twilly, and he kidnaps Nick and Marta and puts her in Mrs. Starch's car. It's very weird for him to be driving Mrs. Starch's car, right? But he reveals that Mrs. Starch is his aunt, and then it's like, oh my god, and then he kicks him out on the road and tells him to run, and he has like a bullet on his like belt or something, so he's gonna try to shoot him, so they just run away. Honestly, if I go past this point, I'm probably just gonna spoil it, so I'll leave it up to you. If what I just said to you was like the most intriguing thing ever, go read the book, but I really can't say much more without ruining the book, so go read it if you want, or don't, I don't care. Michael Roach is a loser. See you later.